Frontier opening bell, Wednesday, the 11th of January. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. I am Bosin Omofai. And of course, this got to give you the market rundown for Tuesday, and you can see all the indices were in the red. The gains made by Dangote Cement to the Nigerian stock market on Tuesday was offset by Airtel Africa's profit booking, just as the company announced that it bought additional spectrum within the Nigeria space for about $316.7 million US, but all paid for in local currencies. Investors booked profit on the back of that news from Airtel Africa. So that's brought the market down by roughly 0.5%. The BRVM fell by 0.6%. The Egyptian market traded water roughly 4%, a very deep dive as investors took a bit of profit off the Egyptian market since the start of the year with the currency issue and devaluation of the Egyptian pounds on everyone's mind. 15,462 for the EGX. Then you've got the Nairobi Bourse down by roughly 1%, 125.54, and the GSE fell by 0.44%, the biggest and emerging markets, stock markets on the African continent, 78,031 on the all-share index, just as investors around the world were spooked by the latest news from the World Bank that the global economy will go into a recession. This year, Eurozone will go around 0%. The global economy will grow just 1.7%, and things could get a whole lot more, or will get a lot more tighter for developing economies, in particular Frontier Africa. All that spooked investors' sentiments on Tuesday, and then the market nosedive. So let's just push that aside and look for a few more news items as we start from East Africa. And checking with some of the big stories, because Kenya has been able to achieve 86% renewable energy generation rate. The country is targeting a whole lot much bigger, 90% as it were, in the very near future. And the Canadian telco, Resell, is entered the Kenyan market, and that will give Safaricom part of something to think about. Uber and Bolt have lowered their rates in Tanzania just to ensure they got a whole lot more in the market, where DR Congo has set aside about $453 million US for the revival of the state mining enterprise. Copper production last year in DR Congo was north of $500 million US, a huge harvest by DR Congo, Africa's richest location for copper. And Kenya has agreed to remove tariff barriers on exports from Uganda. Well, love thy neighbor, handshake between two of the biggest economies east of the continent, that is. Let's bring in the West African stories this morning to spice up the Frontier Africa theme with the sharp, long-lasting slowdown, economic recession that the World Bank latest report showed yesterday will hit developing economies and everyone in the world. As I said earlier, the forecast from the World Bank is that the euro area will grow 0% this year. That's very nail-biting news, but things expected to grow a little bit better next year, globally speaking. The forecast from the World Bank is about 2.7% on the growth side. Global economy will grow 1.7% this year, quite dampening on investor sentiments. GT Bank in the United Kingdom, however, has been fined by the UK financial regulator about $9.3 million US. That's roughly 7.3 million pounds, because the bank was found to have what you call the lax money laundering processes. There's a weakness, significant weakness, that was discovered by the UK financial regulator, and GT Bank of United Kingdom Limited has been fined as their settlement, as it were, in the manner of speaking, with the regulator. And Airtel Africa, I spoke about that earlier, acquiring an additional 100 megahertz spectrum in Nigeria for about $316.7 million. That was paid for in local currency, by the way. So there's no exposure to the dollar currency side for the telco giant listed on the London and Lagos stock exchanges. And Ghana says its implementation of 1% e-levy on mobile money operators begins on January the 11th. Oh, that's today. Okay, let's see. It's gone through a whole lot of discussions between the executive and the legislature. It's now been finally agreed. Ghana needs every money on the table. And of course, the deadline for the new local debt swap in Ghana is this January the 16th, and that's next week. Yesterday, the Ghana stock market fell about 0.1%, just about everyone sleepwalking, in a manner of speaking, out of the macroeconomic troubles of 2022, inflation, exchange rate, debt, everything else in the box. Let's touch on with Southern Africa. And of course, the GSE, the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, had come down very hard with the 21-year directorship ban on the former CEO of Steinhoff, Jooste. He's also getting about 15 million rand fine, by the way, so you can hold any directorship position in any company listed on the GSE for the next 20 years. That's almost a lifetime, if you ask me. In the meantime, the South African president says the mandate given to the central bank, that's the South African Reserve Bank, if you want to change it, it will take time and require constitutional change. So it's not something you do in a hurry. And that's what President Cyril has told those who are asking for a change in mandate of the ASRB. Again, there's a bit of that issue around central bank mandates around the world. The U.S. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell spoke about it just a few days ago, speaking about the mandate of the U.S. Fed as well. Manufacturing output, latest data for the month of November in South Africa, down 1.1% from 1.0% in the month of October of 2022. And Multichoice Malawi gets a 10 million fine for breaching this license conditions in the Southern African country. Let's round it off with the North African economies and investment stories. Gas flowing from Libya to Italy has been restored after a 2-day stop, according to a new report. While Egypt is looking to set up about $120 million factory to generate power from solid waste. Egypt is moving very strongly before and since the COP27 in Sharm el-Sheikh late last year on renewable energy or using alternative energy as part of the energy transition conversation. And Morocco's agri maritime exports beat about $7.79 billion threshold for the year 2022. Morocco is one of the top exporters and most industrialized economy on the continent. So agri and maritime exports moving on, alongside tourism as well, which is one of Morocco's mainstay of the economy. In Tunisia, subsidies allocated to commodities in the new year 2023 budget has been slashed by 33.1%. It's a very tough time right now for President Said's administration, still unable to get that financial handshake from the IMF due to a number of reforms that has been asked, but it's been delayed by the authorities in Tunis. And we want to use this edition to say congratulations to NJ Ayuk, the executive chairman of Africa Energy Chamber. He's been named among the top 100 most influential African by a new report which was released today in South Africa. On behalf of all of us at Frontier Africa Reports, we say congratulations to NJ Ayuk, executive chairman of the African Energy Chamber. You have been briefed. That's your energy Frontier Africa Report for this day. The Frontier Opening Bell is part of our Frontier Africa Reports program on a daily basis. So you can check out our energy and other shows that we produce on a regular basis on our website, on our YouTube, and on our social media. I'll see you next time, everyone. Have a great day.